Hello world, welcome back to the Razor RC, and I got a chance to run my Tekno EB48 2.0 for the very first time. This is a 1/8 scale electric 4-wheel drive race buggy from Tekno. Special shout out to Your RC for sponsoring this line of videos. They definitely make these videos possible with their support, so check them out. We do have a 5% off coupon code, so you can pick up this kit, a Tekno, or if you want an X-Ray, or you want a Team Associate 8 scale, or pretty much any vehicle, whether you want a basher, crawler, on-road, off-road, they carry it all. We do have 5% off coupon code and under €5 shipping throughout Europe, so definitely a good place to check out RC cars. So yeah, I took this thing out to my local BMX park, just doing a little bit of a shakedown test on this. You know, whenever you put together a kit for the first time and you haven't run it, you're mostly like kind of just making sure the gearing is set correctly, parts aren't backing out, you know, just basic stuff is functioning correctly. I was running these, the Dirt Track 6-pack 8 scale buggy wheels and tires, so these are kind of a basher style tire. They work pretty well on that type of dirt in that loose loamy type surface. So at that BMX park, these type of tires actually work pretty well. It's not something I would take to the racetrack, but you know, for bashing that worked out pretty well. So just kind of drove it around, want to share my thoughts as well as some running footage. A lot of fun. This is my first 8 scale buggy. I have driven 8 scale buggies, but I never owned one, so it was pretty cool to take this thing out. Electronics ran fine, so like I mentioned in the build video, check that out if you haven't. This is the Max 8 ESC 2050 kV 40 by 68 can motor. I put on a 14 tooth pinion gear, although I thought it was a little slow. Probably would up it to 16 tooth before the next time I take this thing out. Motor was running at about 135, 138 degrees Fahrenheit after a pack, so definitely some headroom to gear this thing up, and I think it would still run reasonably cool. 1210 SG servo from Savox was working fine, no issues there. Nothing really broke. So I did send this a few times up in the air, you know, probably 20 feet higher. So did do some big jumps. Also just kind of drove it around just to get used to the buggy. A lot of steering. I'm running just completely kit setup, no changes at all except for 7K fluid in the front diffs. So for bashing, I think this thing's a little soft. Springs felt a little soft. The shock oils felt a little soft. Not really designed so much for those huge jumps, you know, 20-foot high jumps, landing where you're just basically falling out of the sky and landing flat on all fours. You know, on a real racetrack, you're actually downsiding the jumps and stuff. So not really set up for that type of bashing, but you know, drove pretty well. Does feel soft, a lot of steering, a bit of oversteer also on the rear end. So I don't know if maybe for this surface is a little bit looser than your typical track, so a little bit on the soft and, you know, kind of oversteering side. I did run max droop on everything, so I do have the droop screws basically backed out all the way to get maximum suspension travel to land those big jumps. At the track, I probably limited them a little bit more because front and rear there's quite a bit of suspension travel. It's good obviously for landing big jumps, but it also tends to kind of roll more, and this thing does tip a bit with, you know, that maximum suspension travel. So I don't think you would normally run it that way, but we'll see. The plan is to take this thing out to a real 8 scale racetrack, drive it around, have some fun. That would be my first time at the 8 scale, so I gotta find one. I think there's a couple nearby. I'll check them out hopefully in the upcoming weeks. So anyways, yeah, a lot of fun. Nothing really broke. Only real issues I had was basically one of these little, I don't know what you call them, hinge pin screws or whatever, backed out. They're just kind of held in by these tiny little set screws here. I think they're like 3mm M3 set screws or something like that. So you want to make sure those are Loctite in place, because once those back out, you know, your steering blocks are basically just kind of flopping around, and I was getting like weird steering trim issues before I realized what was going on. My sway bar, you know, kind of moved around a bit here in the rear, so it just has kind of these little plastic collars. I think probably would be worth getting the metal ones just so that they stay in place a little bit better. You can't really tighten them down too much because they are plastic, like a really soft plastic, and once you tighten down those set screws, I think they would strip. So you got to run a hair loose, and then it's a little bit annoying that way it doesn't hold in place. But nothing really broke, so it was pretty cool. Did get some big air as well as some low flying type stuff, so a lot of fun. Stick around here, we'll show you the running footage, and don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons. Look for more videos soon. Enjoy the video.
What's that?
That's my style, bro.